Now moving on to agenda item 8, Human Resources, item for information. Tonight's item for information from Dr. Levine is entitled Vacancy Report and New Hire Update. Dr. Levine, the microphone is yours.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Board Chair Murray, Dr. Thompson, and other members of the board. We all know that school is officially out right now, but we want you to know that your HR department is working hard for you and working hard for the students of Berkeley County School District. We know that our goal is to recruit, retain, and develop, and we want to look at this evening just where we are in terms of our teaching vacancies and in terms of our hiring so far this year. We have a little ways to go yet, but we just wanted you to know also just where we stand at this point. And if you look at the first page there, you'll see that we have hired presently 152 teachers and certified staff members. That number fluctuated, and you notice that this evening you had two different sheets at your seats. So that was an update as of where we are today. The information you received originally in your packet showed where we were on Friday. So I think it shows about 17 more that have been added to our list so far. So we are working, and that's where we are. And we just started with this officially in April. So that is pretty good overall, and I am not here to take the credit for it. I have an awesome department with some people who just work and believe in our children in Berkeley County and wanting them to have the best in front of them consistently. And you see there also one of our goals is to work on our recruitment of minorities and increasing our numbers there. Right now, in terms of the hiring for this year, so far we're at about 12% roughly, but we are definitely working on that as well to continue to recruit. And then the next slide you'll see there, we have information in terms of where we are with our vacancies. And right now for elementary, we're showing 12 at the moment. And as I said, I made some changes today because it fluctuates constantly. Sometimes we might have resignations because individuals are moving, relocating to different areas. So as soon as we might hire someone, we might have someone leave for whatever reason. But you all know that we are constantly attempting to retain, and we're also working to develop, because that's one of the things that sets Berkeley County apart from some other places. We really work to keep our teachers and also work to develop. If you look at the middle level there, we have a total of 10. And for high school, we are showing 18 right now at this time. So we have 40 vacancies at this point that we need to hire for, and I'd even be willing to say it may be a little bit less than that based on some information that came in just this evening. So we're looking forward to that, and please know that it is our goal for that number to be 0 come time for us to start the school year for the 14-15 school year. Do you have any questions for me?
Do we have any questions or comments for Dr. Levine regarding tonight's hiring update as well as the vacancy report? Hearing none, Dr. Levine, you had a short time at the podium this evening. Thank you for all your hard work as well as your folks in your department.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 9. This is financial services. Mr. Thomas, you have a lot of work for us this evening.
And I apologize.
Well, we appreciate the job you've done, sir. The podium's yours.
When Dr. Levine was talking about 0, I thought he was talking about next year's budget.
Easy.
It seems to be working that way. We have, like Dr. Murray said, we have several items on the agenda. The first is the 2014-2015 tax anticipation note resolution. If you remember, this is an annual event. It's based on cash flow. It's not that we're $15 million underwater or anything. It's just taxes in and expenses out because of payroll and taxes and the timing of that. You have at your station a resolution to approve a TAN for not to exceed $15,150,000. It's about the same as last year. And this spreadsheet kind of shows you my migration of how that works, taking in the state revenue and the expenses for payroll and other items. So so you can see it's actually a formula-driven method to figure this out. So just wanted to share that with you. So I ask for a motion to approve the 14-15 tax anticipation note.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Regarding agenda item 9A, do I have a motion and a second for action item 2014-2015 tax anticipation note resolution?
You do, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to approve the tax anticipation note of not to exceed $15,150,000 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9A.
Second.
A motion has been made by Mr. Cooper. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Obie to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve the tax anticipation note of not to exceed $15,150,000 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9A. Do we have any questions or comments regarding this motion for Agenda Item 9A? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Mr. Thomas, your 2014-2015 tax anticipation note resolution has been approved. Agenda item 9B.
This item is the funding flexibility for fiscal year 13-14, and Dr. Etheridge remembers this very well over his service for the school district, but this is another annual event where the state allows certain funds to be flexed to the general fund. And if you remember, this is one of the areas that's causing some major controversy or heartburn for the general fund for next year, and that some of these funds are being reduced and shifted to the general fund. So I suspect this to be less next year. But as a formality, we need this to be approved so we can submit this to the state so we can do what we need to do with these sets of funds. So I ask for your approval of the funding flexibility for 13-14 as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. In the matter of agenda item 9B, entitled Funding Flexibility, Fiscal Year 2013-2014, do I have a motion and a second?
You do, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to approve the funding flexibility application for FY 13-14 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9B.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Dr. Etheridge has made a motion. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Wright to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve the funding flexibility application for FY 13-14 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9B. Do we have any comments or questions or discussion regarding Agenda Item 9B? Hearing no discussion, we will call the question. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Agenda Item 9B has been approved, Mr. Thomas. Agenda Item 9C, RFP 412.
This RFP is presented for the storefront security upgrades. You've already approved one for 8 schools. The next 2 are for 2 schools and 3 schools respectively. 412, we'd like to award that to Infinger Construction Group for $59,500, and that will be for Hanahan Elementary and Fishburne Educational Center, and we ask for your approval of RFP 412.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. In the matter of Agenda Item 9C, entitled RFP 412, Fiscal Year 13-14, Main Entry Storefront Security Upgrades for 2 schools. Do I have a motion and a second?
You do, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to approve RFP 412 for school year 13-14 for main entry storefront security upgrades for 2 schools to Infinger Construction Group for a cost of $59,500 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9C.
Second. A motion has been made by Mr. Cooper to accept the administration's recommendation to approve RFP 412 for the main entry storefront security upgrades for 2 schools to Infinger Construction Group for a cost of $59,500 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9C. That motion was seconded by Murray. Do we have any questions, comments, or discussion regarding agenda item 9C?
I got a quick question.
Mr. Obie, your sir, the microphone is yours.
So that's roughly $29,000 per school. How does that compare to the 8 we awarded a couple weeks ago on a per school basis?
If I remember right, that was 8 for about 100,000. If I remember right, is that Connie? Was that?
I think it was 111.
111, okay.
You have to realize that every school is very much different. Some places we put little storefronts, and some places we put shoes, some places we put doors and assemblies. So the scope varies quite a bit.
So that's why these schools would be a whole lot more than they were last week? Okay.
All right. Does that conclude your comments, Mr. Obie? All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call the question. I can repeat the motion again. The motion has been made to approve RFP 412 for the main entry storefront security upgrades for 2 schools to Infinger Construction Group for a cost of $59,500, as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9C. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Again, Mr. Thomas, Agenda Item 9C has been approved. Agenda Item 9D.
Is RFP 415 for storefront security upgrades to 3 schools, and those are St. Stephen's Middle, Timberland High, and Bonner Elementary. I ask for your approval of RFP 415 to Stenstrom and Associates for $80,500.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. In the matter of Agenda Item 9D, do I have a motion and a second?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve RFP 415 for the 13-14 year for main entry storefront security upgrades for 3 schools to Stinson and Associates Incorporated for a cost of $80,500, as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9D.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Dr. Etheridge has made a motion. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Wright. I'll repeat that motion for the record. A motion has been made to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve RFP 415 for fiscal year 13-14 for main entry storefront security upgrades for 3 schools to Stenstrom and Associates Incorporated for a cost of $80,500, as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9D. Do we have any discussion, questions, or comments regarding 9D? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve Agenda Item 9D, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Thomas, Agenda Item 9D has been approved. 9E.
Is RFP 415 for district-wide access controls. We'd like to award that to Diversified Computer Solutions for an estimated cost of $398,786.55. District asset control is for the use of cards or keyless system into the properties, so another security kind of event as well. So we ask for your approval of that, RFP 415.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Do we have a motion and a second for Agenda Item 9E entitled RFP 414 FY 13-14 District-Wide Access Controls? Do I have a motion and a second?
I do, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to approve RFP 414, 13-14 for district-wide access control to Diversified Computer Solutions for a cost of $398,786.55, as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9E.
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Cooper has made a motion. That motion has been seconded by Mrs. Lee to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve RFP 414 for FY 13-14 for district-wide access controls to Diversified Computer Solutions for a cost of $398,786.55, as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9E. Do we have any questions or discussion regarding Agenda Item 9E? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Thomas, agenda item 9E has been approved. That leads us to your final item tonight, Mr. Thomas. If my count is correct, that would be the 6th item. That's 9E, entitled Mobile Units Change Order. Mr. Thomas.
If you have in your packet a change order, and the administration would recommend that we approve contract construction change order to provide 5 classroom trailers and 1 restroom trailer at Cane Bay Elementary, ready for students' occupancy on August 19th of 14, and until the next elementary school completion, which is scheduled for June 2015, for a guaranteed maximum price of $260,000.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Do I have a motion and a second regarding the administration's recommendation in agenda item 9F?
You do, Mr. Chairman. I move that we approve contract construction's change order to provide 5 classroom trailers and 1 restroom trailer at Cane Bay Elementary, ready for student occupancy on August the 19th, 2014, and until the new Nexton Elementary School completion, which is scheduled for June 2015, for the guaranteed maximum price of $260,000 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9F.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes has made a motion. That motion has been seconded by Mrs. Lee in the matter of agenda item 9F. The motion has been made to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve contract construction's change order to provide 5 classroom trailers and 1 restroom trailer at Cane Bay Elementary, ready for student occupancy on August 19th, 2014, and until the new Nexton Elementary School completion, which is scheduled for June 2015, for the guaranteed maximum price of $260,000 as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance Agenda Item 9F. Do we have any comments or questions regarding Agenda Item 9F? Dr. Etheridge.
Do we not have any trailers available now? I mean, we should have some from Stratford.
I know we have what we call boneyard, and I am thinking some of those are probably not in sufficient shape to move, or if they did, they fall apart. But Dr. Thompson, did you want to?
I did. We have 13 mobile units to get in place, and we're going to take 8 out of the boneyard to prepare. But 8 is about all that our staff can handle over the summer. It's pretty much going to take full-time staff to get 8 ready and pass OSF inspection, so that we're asking that we can lease some of these trailers to take a little bit of pressure off of our staff over the summer. It would be virtually impossible to get 13 or 14 trailers ready for school, the condition that the trailers that we have are in. It cost us about $40,000 to move trailers, put new floors, new roofs, new copper, new air, wire for technology and electricity, put ramps on them, steps on them to put in place, and it's a huge undertaking from our maintenance department. So the request tonight is if we could outsource a handful of those, and since Cane Bay is only going to be for 1 year with Nexton opening in 2015, this is a logical place for leased units.
And these would be leased, not purchased?
These would be leased. The company is agreed to give us 1 after the lease is up. The purchase price for a new one is $63,000. Is that right, Ms. Myers?
Have we thought ahead for maybe 3 or 4 years? If these trailers are going to be only used for 1 year, they should be in terrific shape to store for our possible need 2 or 3 years down the road if we owned them. It just looks like an awfully big expense for something that we possibly either don't need immediately, or perhaps we could think ahead and get them. Perhaps restrooms could be self-contained in them, and we could convert them into kindergarten classrooms with a expanded 4K program or something like that coming up.
I do know that there's a statewide shortage, or will be a statewide shortage on trailers, so that was one of the issues for some immediacy. And then also, too, we'll be working on a bid for that for future reference as well. So.
And OSF is requiring a restroom for outside units now, so a self-contained would work for that particular unit, but we have to have access for all trailers where we have outside mobile units. For example, if Hanahan High School had 3 mobile units and we went in this year to add the 4th, we would have to add a restroom there. So we haven't approved any trailer moves unless they have multiple trailers, like Berkeley High School requested 1, but the $80,000 investment, if we had to include the restroom, was not worth that investment. So we're caught between a rock and a hard place, because even if we wanted to purchase these units, from what I've been told, they're not available because of the demand of all the construction in the area. And Ms. Myers has asked if we did purchase units, we would purchase them where they're going to be in a place for 4 or 5 years, such as Hanahan Elementary, until that school opens a couple of years later. If we moved a unit into Cane Bay Elementary for 1 year, it's still going to be on the district to move it out of there if it's not a leased unit. And the way our growth is going, looks like we'll be moving another 12 to 13 units again next year if we keep growing at the rate that we're at. So this is a change order associated with the Nexton Elementary project, and the construction team at Nexton is going to handle all of the ordering the trailers, putting them in place, so that burden would not be on our maintenance department.
Did not we move the 5th grade from the middle school over to the elementary last year? Or
Yes, sir, we did.
can we move them back and have those classrooms available? Is there?
We've moved the 5th grade out to make room, and now we're going to have to put almost the entire 4th grade in mobile units because of the growth of that school. If we put a school's built for just under 900 students, we've taken the entire 5th grade out. If we put the 5th grade back in, we would be looking at 1,100 students in that school.
So we need to look at adding classroom space out there?
Well, that school will be rezoned for, a large population of that school will be rezoned for Nexton, that's open in 2015. So almost half of approximately half of that school would go back to Nexton. That way we could put the 5th grade back in.
That concludes your comments, Doc.
Yes, sir.
They're closing 4 homes a week in Cane Bay.
All right. Any other questions or comments regarding agenda item 9F?
I do have a couple questions. I think
Mr. Obie, the floor is yours.
just to echo what Dr. Etheridge said, looking at the spreadsheet we got, the per unit lease rate says it's $43,000 and some change, and it says the purchase cost on a new unit is $55,000. And if we think we're going to need trailers for the foreseeable future, it would seem to me better to purchase a trailer at $55,000 versus leasing it for just 1 year at $43,000. But it also shows on the sheet that we said we were going to get 5 trailers and they were going to give us one at the end of the year for the total of the $260,000 that we're requesting. It shows on here that we're going to have to purchase that unit for the $260,000. So if my math is correct, if you do around $50,000 times 5, that's right at $250,000. So I still don't see why we wouldn't just purchase these trailers to have them available for us to use at future schools, at future use.
Which question do you want to answer first, Mr. Obie?
All of them.
All of them. I can't remember the first one. Could you restate them?
Why not purchase them as opposed to leasing them if we know we're going to have a need for trailers in the foreseeable future?
We're not opposed to purchasing trailers. We wouldn't be able to purchase trailers and have them in place by August, by the opening of school, because of the supply.
So then the second question would be,
Question 2.
are we getting this one trailer for free at the end of this lease, or are we having to purchase it from this company for the $43,000? I thought we said we were getting one trailer after the lease was over. They were giving us one. But on here, if you add the total dollars up, it's as if we're purchasing it. Because it says 5 units at $43,000 was $216, and it says purchase unit, 1 unit at $43,000, adds it all up with the change at the end to $260, which is what we requested.
Yeah, but they're giving us they're allowing us to purchase one of those units at $43,000 instead of $55,000.
So they're not going to give it to us at the end of the lease. It's an actual purchase.
They said it was going to sell it to us at the end of the lease one.
Okay.
Instead of moving forward, you would be selling one of the unit after the end of the lease because there's not a whole lot of availability of other units because of the high demand with all the construction that's going on in Charleston and Dorchester and Berkeley County.
Got it.
Yeah, so we get to purchase one at the lease price at the end of the lease.
Okay. I would argue that it should be cheaper since we've leased it for a year. But so the third question comes in the fact that why is this money coming out of our capital budget that we passed when this is more of an operational issue as far as the school goes? It seems kind of unfair to take these dollars out of the next in school development money when that was specific bond money for that specific school, and to transfer it over to Cane Bay Elementary as more of an operational issue that we're having to deal with year to year. Keeping in mind that we deal with these operational issues every year at a bunch of different schools, and we don't take any bond money or any capital money from any other school project to do this.
Did y'all get that question, gentlemen?
You're going to have to restate it for me.
You lost me halfway through.
Why are we using bond money for a specific project to move trailers to Cane Bay Elementary that has nothing to do with that bond project?
But that's why it's a change order. And so
But it's a change order for an operational issue, 2 different accounts.
unless
yeah.
you would like for them to move the trailers at the lot where the new school is going to be
Well,
built.
we should
and
have some
students over
operational
there.
money to fund this. It shouldn't be coming out of specific bond money that was specifically for Nexton Elementary. You know, we've gone round and round on how we can't build a school that we said on the ballot on Daniel Island. We can't build it anywhere outside of Daniel Island. So how is it now we can transfer funds that were supposed to be at Nexton and use them a little bit over here at Cane Bay Elementary?
That's another question, Mr. Obi.
Okay.
You lost me
I'm
again.
going to try to answer that one. These students will be zoned for Nexton. Had that school opened in 2014 when we originally planned, we wouldn't be in this predicament. Our bond attorneys have said this is an allowable expense since those children that are going to be occupying those trailers are zoned for the Nexton school.
All right. Any more questions or comments? Mr. Cooper, I know you're next, but I wanted to make sure Mr. Obi had an opportunity to finish his questions and comments. Mr. Obi, does that conclude your questions and comments?
For right now, yes.
For right now. Mr. Cooper, you're up.
Just to verify on Dr. Thompson's last comment, we have checked with the bond attorney, and we can use the capital monies of a bond issue for a lease operating expense, since it's been driven on us based on the scheduling of that capital expense. Yeah, we can, all right. Thank you.
Does that end your comments, Mr. Cooper? Yep. All right. Do we have anyone who has not spoken yet that would like to speak to the issue? Hearing no one, Dr. Etheridge, the floor is yours, sir.
I just need one more clarification, because I too think we should look at buying the trailers, but if we can't buy them because they are not available, where is contract construction going to get them from? Maybe they would share that with us. Or are we leasing used trailers? And if so, what shape are they in? Because I really think we need a reserve of trailers in this district, because we continuously grow and need space to place students temporarily until we can get them inside a secure building. So I guess what I'm asking is, are we sure we have exhausted our search for available trailers to buy?
We are. What year are these trailers, Miss? They're used units, Connie. Are it 2000?
5 units are 2006. The one that we're going to purchase are going to be built for the new 2012. What happened is we got 3 bidders.
Connie, why don't you come to the microphone so all this
Come on up, Ms. Myers. We've got a lot of questions for you.
You want to ask for the vote when you finish?
Basically, we put out a RFP, and we got 3 bidders on that, Vandegaard, Modular, and William Scotsman. The only trailers that are valuable are 2006 to lease. We've gotten special permission for OSF to waive the requirements to using 2012 trailers for Cane Bay Elementary. Vandegaard didn't have 6 trailers, and so we were going to piece a deal together with a third party. When they found out that we were going to give another trailer to the third party, they said, we'll build you a 2012 and we'll get it to you if you take those other lease. So that's how we packaged this deal so we could get the lowest price possible. And also meet the August 19th opening date and get the children in those trailers.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Where have you been? Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. I'll repeat the motion for the record. It's been so long since we've heard it. In the matter of agenda item 9F, entitled Mobile Units Change Order, a motion was made by Mr. Hayes. That motion was seconded by Mrs. Lee to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve the contract constructions change order to provide 5 classroom trailers and 1 restroom trailer at Cane Bay Elementary, ready for student occupancy on August 19, 2014, and until the new Nexton Elementary School completion, which is scheduled for June 2015, for the guaranteed maximum price of $260,000, as presented by Mr. Thomas in Finance, Agenda Item 9F. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
The motion carries 7-1. Please let the record show that Mr. Obie opposes the motion. 7-1. Your motion carries. Agenda item 9F has been approved. Mr. Thomas, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening.
I will need your signature before you.
I've got a pen. Yes, sir. We're ready. Agenda item number 10, entitled Instruction and Accountability. Tonight, as Dr. O'Gorman makes his way to the podium, we have an item for action entitled Textbook Adoption, Second Reading, 8th Grade History, 9th through 12th grades World Geography, 9th through 12th grade Writing Preparation for AP courses, and CTE textbooks for multiple courses. Dr. O'Gorman.
Dr. Murray, members of the board, Dr. Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, you kind of took all the wind out of my sail, Dr. Murray. You said pretty much all I have to say. I bring before you a second reading of the textbooks that you just named. There are 31 of them.
There's a bunch of them.
Been here for a couple of weeks now, so I bring them before you for a second reading tonight.
Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman. And I also note that you have an item for information that you'll follow. Up first in agenda item 10, items for action. Do we have a motion and a second regarding agenda item 10?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve agenda item 10, textbook adoption, second reading as submitted by the administration.
Thank you. We have a motion made by Mrs. Lee. That motion was seconded by Mr. Cooper to accept the administration's recommendation in agenda item 10 to approve the textbook adoption second reading, again as submitted by the administration in agenda item 10. Do we have any questions or comments regarding this motion? Good. Hearing none, let's call the question. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Dr. O'Gorman, your motion carries unanimously. The second reading of the textbook adoption, as identified in agenda item 10, has been approved. Next up, item for information, summer sale.
Thank you, sir. Although school is over, learning has not ended. Our teachers are going through a couple of weeks of professional development. We refer to affectionately as summer sale. That's where a lot of us would like to be. So I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Schneider, and she's going to run you through what that entails.
Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman. Dr. Thompson, Board Chair Dr. Murray, and members of the board. Again, we'd like to take you sailing for a few more minutes and share some opportunities that we have for our teachers for the next 2 weeks. Like Dr. O'Gorman mentioned, I can't believe this is our 6th annual summer Academy for Instruction and Sale for Learning, and better known as SAIL, like he mentioned. It began yesterday, and it will continue through the 19th of June. All of the SAIL opportunities we have planned for our for our SAIL this summer support our 2014-15 areas of focus and district priority goal, which is our professional learning communities, which Dr. O'Gorman shared with you during a board meeting in April. We have over 171 sessions in place where staff members can receive certificate renewal points or graduate credit points as well. We are very excited because we have experienced and expert level professionals facilitating our workshops during the next 2 weeks. The locations that we are offering our SAIL are currently at Cane Bay High School, Westview Middle School, and Memory Education Park. And we want to thank these schools for opening their doors to us as they always do. Again, this year, once again, we have schools that are offering free childcare for our teachers who are participating in SAIL, and these locations include Devon Forest, Goose Creek Primary, and Westview Primary. Here are some highlighted opportunities from the 2-week SAIL opportunities that we're providing. You received a schedule that showcased 2 weeks of opportunities that we have for all of our educators in the district. ELA and math teachers are coming together to continue the revisions of the curriculum units and learn and understand the new changes within the units. These revisions are based on feedback that was provided for us throughout the school year. This isn't just the opportunities. We have several great opportunities for teachers who do teach math and English. In social studies and science, we have the K-8 instructional units rollout, along with the biology and U.S. history at the high school level. Teachers are being prepared to share the information with their teachers in their schools or to facilitate training during the August District Staff Development Day. Also, Ms. Kalka, if you would go back to the last slide for a moment. Again, we are offering our PACE, our Portable Advanced Science Exploration. We are in year 2 with our partnership with the Governor's School for Math and Science to train our 7th grade teachers to use devices probes within their classrooms. 8th grade teachers participated last summer, and our 6th grade teachers will participate and be trained next summer. Special services are providing different levels of training for teachers and administrators on the added component of our State Department education program, Enrich, that we will be implementing next year that incorporates the individual education plans for identified students. Also during this training, we're looking at a co-teaching session where members will be provided with co-teaching models and look at how to successfully implement co-teaching within the classrooms. We have areas supporting CTE and adult education during the first week of SAIL, so we welcome you to participate and come out and join us. CDEP sessions are offered during week 2 of SAIL. Staff members can receive DSS credit for participating in these sessions. Teachers need a total of 15 credits by January of each year, and administrators need 20 credits during the same time. Also, our principals have participated in training throughout the entire year, focusing on the Common Core and what does it look like within their school building, giving them lots of great suggestions and opportunities and a great way to collaborate together. And our final practicum, which I know they're excited about, will be finishing up June 19th. Also, our evaluators are working hard. They're providing safety training this summer and also mentor training to teachers so that we can have more safety evaluators and mentors in our district. We are offering several sessions on how to integrate technology through classroom instruction to meet the learning needs of all of our children. The blended learning session on June 19th will provide an overview of what blended learning is and how it can successfully impact learning for our students. Also, we're in year 2, which is phase 2 for our digital device one-to-one teams, and we had our elementary groups will be participating tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and our middle school and high school teams participated yesterday and today as well. Also, this is a very busy week for our high school groups as well. We have the American Alliance for Innovative Schools, which we call AAIS, team back to work with us with our high schools throughout the summer. Today, they worked with the entire staff members of Cane Bay High School. We were so excited because pretty much the majority of the staff members were there, and they were very excited about the training that supports the high school academies. Tomorrow, Berkeley High School staff members will participate in the training, and then next Monday and Tuesday, they will be working with our freshman academy teachers from Cross High School, Hanahan High School, and Stratford High School. The support that AAS provides with us will continue next year with our high schools to support the academies along with the administrators, instructional coaches, and district staff members to strengthen and advance our PLCs within our district. Also, throughout SAIL, we're offering 2 graduate level courses and a recertification course, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. There are so many opportunities that we are offering within SAIL, but then there are so many exciting opportunities outside of SAIL. So I'd like to mention just a few that we're supporting our teachers with throughout the summer. And there are just numerous activities, so I know that I'm not going to even put a dent into the wonderful opportunities that our teachers can enjoy throughout the summer. Something that we want to look at is Trident Technical College has a partnership with Boeing, and they are offering STEM workshops this summer. They created 5 workshops, and they allowed us to have 5 seats for every workshop. So out of 25 seats, we're really excited to share with you that we have 24 participants for those sessions. Also, we just hosted the GT Regional Conference last Thursday and Friday at MenRib, and we had 100 educators participate in this great opportunity. We are sending 10 teachers to the Early Childhood Conference, sponsored by the College of Charleston, next week, which is Thursday and Friday. Several of our educators are participating in the STEM literacy courses that are offered at the Citadel and College of Charleston this summer during their time off, and will share these strategies with us when they come back in the fall. We hosted and supported both graduate courses through CSU to assist our teachers with adding the GT endorsement to their teaching credential. We started in the May semester, and we're finishing up during summer 1. In May, we were selected, we were really excited about this, to host the ETV iBloom recertification course during the week of July 14th. The teachers who are participating in this will receive 60 certificate renewal points that they can use for their recertification as well. We have 3 teams participating in the 3 STEM Education Partnership cohort with the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce, and through a Title I partnership with Francis Marion College, we have 30 participants involved with the Center of Excellence teaching children of poverty during the summer. Between all of these great opportunities, we hope our teachers are relaxing at some point, enjoying their summer with their families before they come back to a great, exciting year in Berkeley County. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your presentation tonight, Ms. Snyder, as well as Dr. O'Gorman. Board, do we have any questions regarding the summer sale opportunities for Mrs. Snyder or Dr. O'Gorman? No. You're doing wonderful things. Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman. Next up is agenda item number 11, the superintendent's report. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Good evening to everyone, and I appreciate those in the audience that attended tonight. I would like just to take a moment. Earlier tonight, we recognized Linda Brown. She's been an employee of this district for 43 years, been the superintendent's secretary. She has retired and well-deserved, and I could not get her to stay tonight to recognize her, but if you have the opportunity, please tell her how much we thank her for her support of Berkeley County. She has served 6 superintendents. And I guess number 6 drove her away, but we appreciate all that she's done, and she's trained the superintendents well to serve our county. So please, if you have an opportunity, tell her thank you for all she's done. I'd also like to commend all of our educators for a smooth closing to the school year. The instructional calendar seemed to work itself out at the last hour to the benefit of our students, parents, and teachers, and we had appropriate time to close our schools for the summer, and so I'd like to thank all of our educators for a great school year. Next, I'd like to congratulate our 1,860 graduates. Your success was a culmination of numerous individuals supporting you over 13 years, and I'd also like to thank our high schools for their efforts in organizing graduations this year. For the most part, the ceremonies were very well done, so thank you for all you did to have a nice ceremony for our students, parents, and families. Next item, the South Carolina School Board Insurance Trust Fund has notified us that we've qualified for the premium and risk reduction program that results in a 5% reduction in the workers' compensation premium. That's a credit of $112,493 for fiscal year 14-15. So congratulations, Mr. Thomas and Rainey Talbot and your staff and administrators for keeping our learning environment safe. So that we know that's a team effort, that a lot of people have to work hard, and we reaping the benefits of that. Before I get to my last item, I'd just like to thank our Board of Education for having an aggressive schedule with our building program that we've locked into a guaranteed maximum price for many of our projects, even though some are going to be started down the road. But as construction prices continue to rise, you can see that some of the neighboring districts are having trouble meeting their budget. So I'd just like to thank you for allowing us to be aggressive with our schedule and getting those construction projects underway. That's going to benefit the taxpayers of Berkeley County. And we've had so much fun tonight with the naming committee. We'd like to start with the Clements Ferry Road naming committee. We'd like to start the process again for the Fox Bank area schools. So with the board chair's permission, I'd like to ask Shannon Lee, Kathy Suave, Philip Obie, and Jim Hayes to serve on the Fox Bank Area School Naming Committee. And with that, my report is complete.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson, and we wish the best of luck to the new school naming committee. And I'd like to thank all four of you for volunteering for that duty. Job well done. Now it's time to move on to agenda item 12, executive session. Prior to calling for a motion to move into executive session, please allow me to state publicly the purpose. The purpose of tonight's executive session is to hear attendance appeals from students. We have a lot of personnel considerations, contractual matters, and a legal briefing. With that said, do I have a motion and a second to move into executive session?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. All those in favor of moving into executive session, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. We are now in executive session.